Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to South First Street Bar and Grill for our head coach and athletic director, Carl Abseck, Coach's Show. And, Coach, it's not on a Monday. We had a lot of things going on Monday, but we're still alive. It's here on a Thursday, and, boy, we got a big one tomorrow night.
Huge.
Huge
game all week.
No doubt about that. Let's go back real quickly. We'd like to recap what happened last week. And, I think we all knew, let's get down there, get a win, and get back. And I think that's pretty much a business trip down to Houston on Saturday afternoon.
It was, and our kids did a good job. It's a little concerning always when you get out of your routines or get off your schedules. And, I was interested to see how they showed up on Saturday morning. And I'm telling you, at 7 o'clock, they were all in the team room ready to rock and roll. So I was super proud of them. And, that was a great way to start the day. And then, it was business throughout. So I was really pleased.
Well, I listened up until halftime when I kind of fell asleep. I hate to admit what I was doing there, but it looked like our man, Kenny Waters, was the man, and he was getting it really done. Him and the big boys up front did a great job, at least when I was listening to the first half.
No, they did. It was pretty I would say, bland game plan.
Sure.
I think, our deal is to get down there, work on some things, try to, watch our kids operate and continue to improve on doing the little things and stuff like that. And we didn't put a lot on their plate, and really just wanted to get down there and get a win, let some other kids play, get some experience built up with our younger kids, and that was kind of the goal. And so, we didn't throw the ball a lot, but we ran it really well. Kenny obviously had a big game. All four of the backs, had big games as far as either in carries and yards or touchdowns and things of that nature. So I was really pleased with all of them.
Yep, got a lot of people to play, but I think the question, and I haven't been out much, but when I did get out this week, it was Kenny's brother was out there on the offensive side for the first time this year and made an impression there offensively. I don't think anybody knew that was coming.
No, we don't tell everybody everything. Keyshawn has been on the defensive side all year long, and then we're a little shorthanded out there, and he has a skill set that is not something that everybody else can do, and so we moved him over there, and we felt really good about how our defensive backs were playing, and he made an impact on his first game, obviously, and so we were pleased with that. It's an added bonus and something else that other teams are going to have to prepare for, and so. Keyshawn's really football smart, and he catches on quickly, and so he's going to help us. He's going to make a difference for our team.
What was another couple other things? Again, I did go back and watch some of it, but I really wanted to focus in on this week, so I'm going to save a lot of our interview for that. But I think a lot of people like to know who are some other, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams, some of our kids that really played well for us Saturday afternoon.
Well, we had 3 picks. Should have had 4. But Sam Smith had him another pick. D-Ray made a pick down in the end zone. I just went blank on who the other one was. But, it was Chance. Chance got his cast off so he can catch again. And so he had a pick there in the middle of the field also. And so, it was nice to get those turnovers. Those guys are always hunting balls. And so it was good for them. I thought, again, the D-line played like they had. I don't know how many sacks we had. And he was really athletic quarterback-wise. And so he prevented a few sacks because of his athleticism, but we got to him multiple times. I would say he's a really tough little dude because he got pounded for the whole game, and he just stayed in there and kept trucking. I thought they all played real well. It was a good team effort. We got a lot of guys in towards the end and stuff, and so there's guys that got experience. Sam Fitzgerald had a couple big catches for first downs where it was a little catch and run after. We're growing. We're getting better.
What about our man, DeMarie? Did he get to get in and mix it up a little bit Saturday? He's ready to roll?
Yeah, he looked good. You should have seen him.
Well, I wish I could have. I'll tell you.
No, he looked good. He had a full week of practice under his belt, and actually 2 because, he kind of worked his way back the week before. You got to go through the whole protocol stuff and all that. And so he had multiple practices, and he looked good. He just, adds to our depth up front, and he, he's a really good football player. So it's not like just adding a little bit of depth. It's adding another difference maker.
it's adding quite possibly one of the top 3 defensive players on our team.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
possibly.
not like we were missing a backup player there.
No.
So anyway, and you mentioned the depth. Roberts has really done a great job that, again, has really sowed some oats, so to speak, for the youngster this year. And he's turned out that we know now he's a 5A football player.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And that's the thing is he with everybody, with any injury, there's opportunity for somebody else. And so McCallan's came in and really you haven't noticed a huge drop-off. And so that's always a good thing. It's a credit to the kid for being prepared when his moment came and he was ready to go, and he's played well. So all that's going to do is make us better and stronger for the future. And so it's good to see Jamarie come back, but also, just like I said, the continued growth of those other young men.
No doubt about that. Well, with our win on Saturday afternoon, it completed the sweep for District 9 5A. Again, it happened last year. I don't think that was any surprise to anybody around the state where all 4 of our teams were able to move on. But this week, as it comes down, it's going to be all 4 teams versus all 4 teams out of District 12 5A. I think that is something that I don't think a lot of people predicted.
I wouldn't have necessarily thought of a sweep, but, I mean, it's obviously a really good district. Up on the top end of that one, and they went out and competed and won some games, a couple of games maybe that people didn't think they would win, and then but anyways, it's one of those deals where they competed well against each other, and that all that does is prepare you for the opportunity to get into the playoffs and then go put your best foot forward. And so it's a unique situation, but it's also one of those deals where they're pretty good.
No, there's no doubt, but I want to say if you look at their seeding, yes, Anderson's 1 and Consolidated 2 and College Station's 3, and they're 4. But in reality, all 4 of those teams, they all beat each other. That's just the way the seeds fell. You're really getting everybody could be essentially playing a district champ this week out of our district.
Basically, they took turns beating each other a little bit. Obviously Weiss beat Anderson in the last game of the year, and Anderson was the 1 seed or the district champ. So. And beat them 28-7. It wasn't like a kick and field goal at the end of the game. I mean, they pretty much, controlled the game the entire time and handled them. So it's a very balanced district up at the top and talented.
All the games, for the most part, were blowouts, with the exception of A&M Consolidated and the aforementioned our opponent, Pflugerville-Weiss, where both of those teams were lucky to get out with wins in the first round.
I mean, I don't know about luck.
Well, I won't say lucky, but they had a dogfight in the fourth quarter.
They did. I mean, it was one of those deals where with Weiss, I mean, we were at that game, and it was 35-14 at half, and I told the guys, and I said, and LaPorte was getting the ball coming back after halftime, I said, if they score on this first drive, we're going home. And they got a stop, and they drove the ball down, got inside the 10, and had a turnover. And then they gave the ball up, and LaPorte drove it a little bit, and they stopped them again. They got it and scored, and I'm like, okay, now it's turning into a ball game. It's 35-21. And there was still, I don't know, there was
about 3 minutes, I think, to go in the third quarter.
So going into the fourth quarter, it's 35-21. And the thing about that with the type of offense that LaPorte runs is you don't even know if you're going to get enough possessions to come back. And so obviously they got another stop, blocked the punt for a touchdown. That was huge. Brought them 7 points closer. But I would say it was a heck of a comeback and showed a lot about their character and how their coaches have grown them up throughout the season. It's a new coaching staff, obviously. And so I was super impressed with their kids and their staff and how they continued to fight and come back against a team that's really, really good, because LaPorte's a really quality team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And before we get into our game, I was just going to ask you, when you saw all these scores and you see the matchups now, and we'll talk about ours in a moment, I think we'll all assume a College Station is going to have a good chance to beat United. They're a pretty good favorite. But outside of those, the other 2 games in our region ought to be some knockdown. I mean, this should be, like we were talking about on the podcast last night with the boys from East Live from the Pines. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me if any of the teams won these football games.
I think they're all winnable. Yeah. By either team. I really do. I do think that United's probably a considerable underdog to College Station, but the other 3 games could go either way, and I think it wouldn't be a shock either way.
I haven't seen Consolidated play yet, but we've all obviously seen Port Arthur Memorial. I'm very interested to see how that goes, because nobody in our district really stopped Port Arthur's running game. I'm wondering if College Station has the talent to do that and make our man throw the football.
Well, I mean, he has thrown for like 20 touchdowns and one pick all year, so it ain't like he hadn't thrown successfully.
When the stuff's about to hit the fan, that man wants to tuck it and run.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and honestly, that's what he needs to be doing. He's really good at it. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know enough about him. I've only seen him briefly, on the film that I've watched when they played Weiss. It's going to be interesting. I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time stopping Port Arthur. And unless like I told their coach, I said, I hope we get to see you again.
Well, a lot of things have to happen before that, and mainly what's coming up on Friday night, which obviously we do know now is tomorrow. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come down and break down the huge game in Region 3 of 5A Division I. Our Panthers taking on the Wolves of Pflugerville Weiss tomorrow night, 7 o'clock down at an old stomping ground for the Panthers. We'll take a quick break and come back and break that game down with our head coach and athletic director, Carl Abseck, right after this, right here on Lufkin Game Time.
You deserve to enjoy what fulfills you. And if joint pain is getting in the way, you deserve orthopedic care designed to help keep your life moving. For that, you can count on St. Luke's Health, right here in East Texas. Our experts treat a full range of bone, joint, and muscle conditions and use minimally invasive incision and muscle-sparing techniques to help you recover more quickly so you can enjoy what moves you. Learn more at stlukeshealth.org/ortho.
Hey Panther fans, Big Nasty here. Need a short-term loan to cover some unexpected bills or maybe a little extra cash? Give Texan Credit a call today. Loan process that is easy from start to finish, and you will get your money fast. Texan Credit has been helping Texas residents for over 10 years by offering multiple loan options with easy low payment. Located in Lufkin at 509 South Timberland Drive, or look Texan Credit up online, TexanCredit.com. Trust me, if they'll loan me money, they will loan you money. Texan Credit, they say yes.
Hey boss, do we sell to animals?
Stephanie, I'm busy watching the Lufkin Panthers. What do you mean, do we sell to animals?
You may want to come check this out.
Oh, it's Fang. Fang gets whatever he wants. Congratulations, Fang. Hi folks, JJ Webb here from JM Chevrolet, and you can get the Chevy you've always wanted right now at JM Chevrolet. Find your next vehicle at jmchevy.net.
This season, you can share a Coke with your team on it. So I'm going to tell you how with a little help from this quarterback.
Selling 44.
You can share a Coke when your team's up.
Red Poncho.
You can share a Coke when your team's down.
Happy Jolly.
You can share a Coke with a coach, a mascot, or an MVP.
Chili, chili, chili.
You can even share a Coke with your rival on game day.
Turbo.
Or you can share a Coke when you're giving out your famous guacamole recipe in a completely packed stadium.
Cilantro, chopped onion, squeeze a lime, Roma tomato, hike.
Share a Coke with a fan this season.
Ice cold, delicious.
Share a Coke is back for the fall football season. We all know what comes with being a fan. The ups, the downs, and everything in between. Whether you've just won a big game and want to celebrate with fellow fans, or want to share a Coke with your best friend whose team just lost against their arch rival, Coca-Cola.
First South Street Bar and Grill will be up here for a little bit longer as we get you set for the Houston Texans on primetime tonight against the Buffalo Bills. But the main thing for us is primetime is tomorrow night down at the Wood Forest Bank Stadium. Coach, round 2 of the state playoffs, and man, the Panthers have got a lot of history there at old Wood Forest Bank Stadium.
Well, hopefully it's mostly good.
Well, there was a lot of good, but there lately was some bad before we were eventually shifted north and east and all that stuff. But either way, we've got some big wins down there.
I've never been there, so I'm excited to go down there.
It's all right. It's not a bad place to be.
It's good to be playing this week, period.
I agree with that. Anytime you're still alive, was there 32 teams left in our division? Anytime that's still alive, you're just happy to be one of those, and I'm glad we are as well. So you said you got to go down there. And so I watched this whole film, let's see, Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember. I've been on so many painkillers. But I'll be honest with you, Coach, and like you tell me, after watching that film and saw who won, I would have thought I would rather have played one. I'm not saying we're going to beat either one, but I thought both teams were good, but I would rather have played Weiss than LaPorte.
I think, in terms of football today, it's a little easier in a sense to prepare for Weiss in the sense of what they do, because it's a spread passing game stuff where it's a little easier to simulate. I wouldn't say it's better to play them or any of that, but it's easier for us to try to simulate what they do. I can't simulate those two big old receivers that they got, but we can at least put guys out there and run the routes and all those things. It's just a lot easier to prepare for because it's just more common. What Laporte does is not as common, and it's a little tougher to prepare for because of that.
Yeah, I just thought they're
offensively.
Yeah, I thought their lines, both sides. Now we'll get into this line here for Weiss here in a second, but I thought Laporte's line looked good, and defensively, I don't think there's any question. Their defensive line to me on film anyway looked a little bit better as far as trying to run on them. But
yeah, I mean,
I'm just a broadcaster.
No, I mean they're both really good. I don't know that anybody necessarily picked Weiss. I would have never considered them your traditional 4 seed either. I think Laporte got a bad draw, as far as a district champ having to play them first game out of the box, but that's the way it goes sometimes. But they were both really good football teams, and so it was a matter of, that game came down to the last drive of the game, and they both have some strengths that the other one doesn't, and vice versa, and either one of them was going to be a handful when we get ready to play them.
Boy, you're at home. You've got the ball with about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and you're up 21. There's just, but you go back to last year, and they were kind of in that same predicament with Angleton, I believe. They were up on Angleton, and Angleton scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to beat them. So this year they kind of returned the favor.
Yeah, their running back kind of got dinged up early in the third quarter on a run, and he didn't run quite the same after that, which made them rely a little bit heavier on their linebacker / running back. And then they gave him breaks on defense because they were having to use him more, and it hurt their defense because he's a really good linebacker. So I think depth kind of got them there in that situation, and Weiss made plays. You got a block punt for a touchdown, then they hit a 70-yarder up on the inside zone play, and that was kind of the turning point in the game.
Yeah, I was going to mention, all the things that they did, and this is probably what makes Coach Cowgill and the guys the most worried is they got a 60-yard touchdown bomb, they got a 71-yard touchdown run, and the block punt. It was a game of big plays for Weiss, and from what I've understood, that's kind of been their MO all year long.
I think, that is something that they've done a lot of, and it's kind of like, when we talked about playing Port Arthur, that was one of the things we talked about, is eliminating the big plays and make them have to move the ball down the field 3-4 yards at a time, and keep working and count on making a play yourselves or making them make a mistake, because it's hard to do that repeatedly. When you give up 60, 70s, it doesn't, it ain't a whole lot to that. And so they're a big play team, but they also have big play people.
Yeah, there's that, and so I'm assuming you've looked at all of it. I know that, but you focus in on the defense because I know you and the guys really bear down offensively. When you break this down, and I don't know what it is, but number 7, you mentioned him on that run. Wasn't talking about the run, but Henderson, he's a sophomore, and this guy just looks like a patented, I just call a quote-unquote football player. He's always around the football. He may not be the biggest, he may not be the fastest, but he is always there to make plays.
Yeah, he's a good football player, and he's just a sophomore. He reminds me of a young Des Hood, that's what he looks like, and he runs well. He's active, that's really, to me, that's kind of their defense. They're very aggressive. They blitz a lot, and so we've spent the week working that, showing them all the blitzes and how we're going to play them, and then how to prepare for them. So, we gave them the hardest look we could give them this week, and hopefully it pays off tomorrow.
What else up there? Now, they got a big freshman nose guard, Scott, number 56, but as we both noticed, well, you already knew, Jared, we'll talk about the offense in a minute. Jared Mays is a senior, committed to Texas Tech. I think that's their best offensive lineman, but he also doubles up and turns around and plays on the defensive line, and there's no doubt he's their best defensive lineman as well.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player, and obviously plays with a big motor. And he hadn't done that all year, but it's been the last 3, 4, 5 weeks he started playing some defense as the season's progressed and things of that nature. So when he gets over there, he makes trouble for people. And so we're going to have to be counting for him and what we do up front and our blocking schemes. But, biggest deal is just execution and communication, because we've got to know, see where they're coming from and then execute our blocks so that we can run our plays successfully.
Well, in my head, we need to run the football and keep that explosive offense off the field to win. That's just, again, me talking. They were able to run for almost a little over 250 yards against LaPorte last week. I mean, LaPorte was able to run for 250 on them. What was LaPorte's able to do very well that got that accomplished?
Well, I mean, they're really good up front offensively, and they obviously have a sophomore tailback that's going to be able to pick wherever he wants to go play. That was a piece of it. But, I mean, they found some edges on them. And got them into some trouble with how they supported the run off tackle and created some mismatches there. But, what they do is a little bit different than what we do as far as the misdirection. And even though we have some of that, the wing tee stuff is a little bit more involved with the misdirection and the quick traps and different things like that. But, there's some things that they gave up that we're hoping to be able to try to exploit as well.
Well, on the offensive side, Coach, I think that's where everyone in the state of Texas thinks this team has gotten to where they are. It's because of all these offensive stallions. And I got to tell you, I don't know if Lufkin, since I've been here, has got so many kids with Division I offers. I just the four of the offensive linemen have D1 offers. The quarterback's a sophomore with D1 offers, and we haven't even talked about the two wideouts that may be the best athletes on their team. I'm going to start with number 9, Trey Moore. This kid's 6'3". Alabama's offered him. He's 200 pounds, and he looks like a bull out there.
Yeah, he's a grown man, and he's just a junior. Big play guy, really tough in space to tackle. I mean, they like to throw a lot of the quick screens to him and use his size to his advantage and make you have to match up, make tackles. But he's really good. He's explosive. He can go over the top and go get the ball and go make the tough catches. But he's definitely scary.
Yep, and Anderson on the other side, he's 6'1", 170. Looks like he might be able to go a little faster than Moore, but again, they're both very good. He's got great offers, and we'll get to the quarterback in a moment, who's thrown, a ton of touchdowns, 44. 33 of them have come to these two kids.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not going to be a secret of where they're going to try to go. It's just a matter of you can't double them both, and right. So you're going to have to pick your poison a little bit. But I think, we got guys that'll go out and compete. We've seen good players this year. And we've competed well with those guys. And so the biggest deal is to give them a lot of different looks and hopefully get him thinking we're in one coverage when we're in something else and get him to make some mistakes. The other piece is our front four needs to go and get after him, and if they can create some pressure situations, that'll definitely help us in the back end, to be able to play it a little bit better because, they used to say it's real hard to throw from your back.
For sure.
And, if we can speed him up a little bit, it helps. You don't want to have to cover them for 5, 6, 7 seconds, but they're really good. They're talented. They've got a lot of talent. But, I think we have some talent too, and we're ready to go fight them.
Well, the one thing about Lufkin kids, they don't care if he's going to Tech or this guy's going to Al. It just doesn't matter. We don't care. We're going out there and competing, and nobody's scared of anybody.
No, I don't think we'll be scared. I think there's a difference between respect and scared. And we respect them. Our kids respect them. They've watched the film. They see that they've done a tremendous job this year, and it's no discredit to them to say you're not scared of them. It just means you respect yourself enough that you're going to go out and compete.
I make a couple of notes myself, and the one I made here was we got to defend the entire field. 53 and a half yards
53
wide.
and a third.
They used it all. And, I saw some formations that I don't see a lot of. I haven't seen a lot of, but I just try to watch out. They stack those two guys out wide. They got a lot of different plays they run out of that, and that causes some mismatch problems.
Yeah, and you have to have a cannon to get it out there, and he obviously is a really good quarterback. But the ball's still in the air a long time. So, the big deal there is we're going to give them different looks. And see if we can't trick him into making some bad decisions, and that's part of the game too. Is looks can be deceiving, so you can show them one thing and give them something different, and just mix it up on him, keep him guessing, and keep him unsure of hopefully what we're lining up in.
Well, and you said this just a moment ago. I kind of said this on the podcast last night. Our key to winning, obviously, offensively is keep the ball away. But we got to get pressure with those top four and us not have to do any stunts. Is that kind of going to be the number one determining factor on how efficient they'll be offensively?
Well, I mean, you can bring 5, maybe 6. 6 now you're starting to get into man-free looking situations where you got to recover zones and stuff like that. But we'll bring some different looks at them, and we'll drop 8 sometimes or drop 7 sometimes. But we're going to give them a lot of different looks from play to play, based on formation, based on who's where, because that matters too, in the sense of where their guys are lined up, and then we'll kind of play it by ear after that. But he's not going to just be able to sit back and just know exactly what we're doing every time.
Well, that's the key of the name of the game. Again, he's only a sophomore, so you want to say, well, experience is a big deal, but the man's been starting. He's 17-5 as a starter, so
yeah,
he does have some experience. There's no doubt about that.
He started the whole year last year. Their original projected starter, who was a Division I football player, tore his knee up in the scrimmage, and so he had to play the whole season as a freshman last year, or got to play as a freshman last year, and then he's carried it over to this year and has had a great year. His brother's one of his other leading receivers, and is a good player in his own right.
Yep, number 11, Dallas Shad. So he too's got 9 touchdown passes on the year. So they got a lot of different avenues they can go. But you're right. Last week in the second half, they brought the guy, I think their best defender. That's number 7, Henderson. He came in and he had the big run offensively for the touchdown.
Yeah, I mean they obviously cross-train their guys, and the smart thing is you're trying to get good people the ball in space to go make plays, and that's a credit to them.
Well, you've had now 4 days of practice. The kids couldn't get up there on Sunday, I guess. How has it been with the kids? They know the excitement, the town, and the more you win, the more excitement's going to be there. How was this week with the kids in practice?
It was a good week. I was really pleased. Monday is your typically your slow day, just because it's your install and you're really showing them everything for the first time. So there's a lot more thinking involved, and so it's a little bit slower. Tuesday picked up really well, and then Wednesday may have been one of our best practices of the year. So I was really pleased with that. Their minds are right. They're focused on, keeping the family together. That's basically the kind of the mantra that we use, is that, when this thing ends, whenever it ends, hopefully late December, this team will never be the same, because there's going to be guys that graduate and they're done. And so, the big deal is you just want to keep the family together, keep working. I enjoy playing on the week of Thanksgiving. That's kind of fun, and it's been a few years since we got to do that. So I'm ready to do it again, and I hope this group is the one that does it.
Yeah, it's been a few years since we had the chance to do it here as well, Coach. So I know all of our Panther Nation wants that as well. And one last question. I do see the first quarter has been our best all year long. We've scored more points in the first quarter. We've held the team to the fewest points in the first quarter. And I'm assuming when we get to about 7:30 tomorrow night, we're hoping that same sequence goes again, and we can get a little quick start here in the first quarter.
It would be nice. We feel good about our plan coming in. I think the kids feel good about it. So our plan is to go out and start fast and finish strong.
Well, I ask you every week, who's got to be the player of the game if we're going to win offensively and defensively? I think defensively you're going to tell me I'm going to need to give out 11.
No, I mean, it's going to take a bunch of them. I think our pass rush is going to have to be big, and then I think our secondary is going to have to play big. And then offensively, I think Javion's ready to have a big game too. Obviously, Kenny and Kylan are going to be a big piece of that. But I think, obviously games are won up front, so our offensive line is going to have to do a good job of executing.
I think Davis and Bogny are going to show why they're freaking stallions and are going to lead us to the promised land tomorrow night.
I'm good with it.
If there are defensive players of the game, Commercial Bank takes players of the game tomorrow night, I think we got a great chance to win.
I agree.
That's just my broadcaster voice.
If you're giving it to D linemen, it usually means they're getting sacks and pressures. And if they're getting sacks and pressures, I feel good about us being able to cover things up on the back end.
A couple of turnovers. I'm hoping for a couple of turnovers.
I love turnovers when it's the other team.
Right. All right. Well, what else? Can you take us through what the plan is tomorrow for you and the kids?
Well, we got a half day at school, so we're going to get up there and pack our bags during our athletic period, and we're going to get them in there at 12:40 for our high-level listening deal, which is basically a coach talk deal that we do every week, some sort of lesson, past experience, life experience, personal experience, and then we'll go out and do our walkthrough. offensively and defensively. Then we'll go in, pack, load the bags up, grab our food, get on the bus, and we're going to head out of here at 2:20 to get down there, start the process.
Get off the bus, kick off at 7:30, and let's hope it all. Oh, 7. Yeah, kick off 7. I think I do that. So we're going on about 5:30.
Yep.
Get to see you again. I hadn't seen you in a couple of weeks.
I know, I missed you.
Well, you've been sick. I had surgery.
Well, I ain't missed any work, though.
Well, I got to blame some of it on you. I can't take all the blame.
All right.
Well, Coach, man, we sure appreciate all the time. Get you some dinner and some rest tonight, and let's hope we get down to the Woodlands tomorrow night and just win, baby. Get on to round 3.
That's the goal.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
That'll do it here from our spot at South First Street Bar and Grill. Come on down and get some groceries, and if you can't make it down to the Woodlands tomorrow night, come on in right here. Jack and the guys will have the game on live for you. We're going to wrap it up a little bit early and get set for tomorrow. Coach, good luck, buddy.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you all for being here tonight, and hopefully we'll be back here with you next week, getting ready to break down round 3 against who I want, Barbers Hill. But we'll talk about that hopefully next week. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night down at the Woodlands. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Gary Ivins Jr. for Lufkin. Game time.